So this is brainstorming, and we're going to be doing a lot of these. It's essentially the only time that I do a brainstorm is when I am pivoting. Pivoting is happening a lot. Obviously, I'm going from real estate into vibe coding, which now is the pivot. What is the pivot? That's today. Every single brainstorming session, this is going to be a quick one because I already thought about it. I did it off camera and I said, you know what? This is something that other people would benefit from because we're all pivoting. In the world of AI, if you're not pivoting, you're essentially dying. The brainstorm today, we have to come up with the problem. What is the problem? Why are we even brainstorming? The problem is that I am vibe coding and that is going live on YouTube every single day. And that's about 3 hours to 4 hours. When I'm done, I'm exhausted. I need about 3 to 4 hours to get back to normal. And that's about right now, which is 4:45 p.m. I have an appointment at 5. So this is only going to be about 15 minutes. My typical brainstorming sessions are about 30 minutes. They could be up to 60. And then if I have a big one, they're 90 plus. Today, what is the pivot? Okay, we successfully started doing live, which is this. We started going live vibe coding. Okay, we've done that for about 38 days. I'm following this guy that's been doing it about 180 days. His content, his value is about the thing that he's building. So is mine. But my value is very different. And I did another video about value. Value is very important. Value is extremely important because if you don't know your value, then and I highly recommend you go and you watch my other whiteboard sessions, my other brainstorming sessions, because I really break down value in a way that I haven't really seen, and it's not bragging, it's more like bringing a bunch of pieces together. So value, what is the guy? His name is Matt Miller. I think it is Bridgemind, Bridge Voice. He's building just call it a SaaS product. Okay. And he's good, 220,000 K a year. He's doing really well. It's growing. That's his product. What I'm building is a community, but the community is interesting because a community is dead code unless it's used. It's the same thing with here, but you can use a SaaS product. You can use a calendar if you're using it. But if no one is using the community, it is about the community. So how is the value of the community? Well, actually, the community is not the value. This is not like that. For him, it is. For Matt, it is. His value is what he's building, and what he's building is his value. For us, for me, is the community. The value is coming from the community, but it's not returning because the community provides the value for people, but we need a deeper level. What is the deeper level? Me. I'm the value. What is that based on? Content. So if my problem is that I am vibe coding live on YouTube every single day from 9 until 1 p.m., 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., this is the sweet spot in any day. So if the problem is me and I'm the value and I need to produce content, this is a definite problem. This is a problem that we need to vibe code into pivoting. And what is the pivot? What is the pivot? Because right now it's not working. If I am the value and value is content, that's not happening. None of this is happening. None of this is broken. And this feeds back up to the community. So if the community is not getting any value, then no value is even being delivered at all. So I've reached a point where I say, you know what? I don't even know if I want to be going live for 180 days vibe coding because I'm good at vibe coding. I'm better at silent strategy. I'm better at silent building. That's what I noticed. But what I'm really good at is brainstorming. What I'm really good at is content. What I'm really good at is piecing together, say, value and giving value through a video about value. And that's where I'm at right now, where my vibe coding, I need a pivot. So the vibe coding is now going to turn into a content game. So what happened today? Today, I let loose 14 videos into the iCharles community. Those 14 videos became 14 videos because if you saw my brainstorming session probably about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I said, you know what? iCharles, and the plus is for members, iCharles is actually the value. I was producing the value then. It's the iCharles is YouTube articles, and secondarily is the iCharles community. When I go to Facebook, the value I get is that it's a full community. I see posts, I see shares, I see videos, I see comments, I see replies, I see DMs. It's a full-fledged community. Facebook or any social media you could put in there is a full-fledged community. In other words, it's fully built out. When I only have a couple of people, maybe a dozen people coming in and out, that's not a full-fledged community. So I can't actually vibe code community. I can't vibe code the community because the community provides no value right now. There's no value right now. So I can't even brag about the community if the community isn't even built up. Why? Because I was looking in value of the community. The community is not the value. The community is building out a YouTube library of content that revolves around life, personal development, AI, piecing together things about life and where the world is going, where it's heading, because right now the speed is immaculate. The news is good. In other words, the news, the sources are actually on truth. And I'm not talking about politics or geopolitical or anything else. I mean, just piecing together NVIDIA, Oracle, Meta, the open weight, closed source models. They're very good. Their perplexity is bringing the sources together and writing truth. I then can make sense of the truth because all of these different articles, though they may seem like they don't actually interact with each other, there is a relationship. And that's my value to the community. My value to the community is building out hundreds of videos, hundreds of articles, hundreds of articles by other members. Other members can submit articles. And what is my game? How do I, and I've talked about this many times, how do I get people from here to here to here to paying? These are casuals, these are viewers, these are subscribers, and these are the payers. What is my funnel of value? What is my funnel of value? I've said it before, but if this is your first video, my funnel of value is going to be YouTube content. Ooh, I like this guy. I'm going to watch more of him. Ooh, I like him so much. I want to subscribe. So you have a casual viewer, they never come back. A casual viewer turns into a viewer when they see the value. When they see the value, they become a subscriber. And then if they want more access, and as I get better, and as I produce more content, as I understand and I pivot more, because more challenges are coming up all the time, this is the biggest pivot to this model right here. This is it, because I can't create the true value right here for the iCharles community if this is broken. And right now it's broken. So in other words, I came up with literally last week, I'm pivoting from last week. Last week I had a Monday through Friday content schedule. And you know what I noticed this Monday? Today's Wednesday. You know what I noticed on Monday? I said, I don't think this is good. Yesterday, I was vibe coding on Monday. I was like, the energy wasn't there. I wasn't into it. I wanted to do bigger things. And I just said, this is what I've essentially built my community on. I can't just stop vibe coding. Well, guess what? Tuesday, I said, I got to focus on my value to get people from here to here, because this is going to be a job. And I see hundreds of videos, thousands of videos being produced by me, hundreds or not thousands of articles being produced. So we have the YouTube let's see if this is on. Yep. We have the YouTube content. So this is the top of the funnel. So everyone has to have a funnel. My marketing is free because I can't do paid. And to be honest, paid right now, you got to brag. You got to brag about the community. You got to brag about, things not in a hubris way, but it actually works. It's actually good. Hear me out. Hear me roar. So now we're talking, how do I get casuals? Okay, so casuals is YouTube content. And then what about the iCharles.com? So it's iCharles.com, not ic.com. iCharles.com. This is the free. So this is just the public-facing website. You know what? I'm going to produce so many YouTube videos, because the 14 videos become a video, an article, and guess where that lives? That lives on iCharles.com. Now we're getting the crawlers and the bots. Now we're getting AEO, which is for AI models to be popping in. Now we got the SEO for the Googles. Okay, so now we're hitting it left and right. We're hitting the internet searches and we're hitting the video searches. And what I've noticed is, though people say articles are dead, articles are not dead for AI models, for Google. They're all scraping. They're all scraping the internet. Perplexity, Bing, doesn't matter. all the AI models, the ones that you don't even think. There's Reddit. They're all, I saw them in my security. I said, I can't believe this was the largest website. I won't say what the, I, I'm not holding it back. I actually forgot. But I was very surprised. It was like, a website I wouldn't have even thought about. And I'm thinking, this is the biggest? It wasn't even a search engine. I don't even think it was a knowledge base, but it was the largest one when I was tracking who was the traffic, because I had 34,000 hits in a month where I had nothing on my website. I had nothing on my website. It was a really bad static website. Today, I said, research CNN and Fox. I said, how do they do it? They said, they go by popular. They go by, this is the biggest of the week. This is the featured story. This is the latest. This video you should watch. This article you should read. I go, wow. So how do I build that out? So I went from a problem, which is I'm the problem. Okay. So if I'm the problem and value is not being added because I'm the problem, then no content is added. Okay. So what is the content? The content on the website is going to be videos, articles, and videos with articles, because this will have an image that the members get. This is going to have a thumbnail, so it can be easily shared. And then obviously that has a thumbnail. And all of these have titles. All of these have their SEO, their AEO, answer engine optimized. So this is what I'm working on. I also want people, when they come to the website, guess what I want them to do? I don't have anyone right now. Okay, so this is future, Charles. I want them to be like, actually, I want this. And I had a big idea for this, where they get custom. Do you want just articles? Do you want articles and videos? Or do you want just the videos? Do you want things made or actually published by certain people? So now they follow certain people, like a certain member of the community, or maybe just me. I'm the admin. Then with the article on the website, there's something called the event. We're in New York City. I want to get vibe coders together right here in this conference room, right behind you. That's adding value. Because when most people go to a website, say their personal website, they have a big picture of them. They have their name, and then they have their CV. I am a real estate agent in New York City. I've done 3,000 deals. I've made $10 million. I'm amazing. Here's my social media. I actually don't even think I have maybe I have my social media at the bottom, which is actually a stupid idea, but I want to fill it with so much content. This is content right now. I'm filming content right now. I already solved the problem. I'm talking about the solution right now. This is all the solution. I solved this. Sometimes I'm going to do the brainstorming live. Sometimes you're just going to listen to me and say, oh, that's actually a good way to do it. But this is all content. This is you going from here to here to here, and then hopefully to here. Why? Because I'm going from I'm going from a real estate broker owner to a vibe coder to a content creator / community owner. That costs money. Also, this was a big thing that I was thinking about. This guy who vibe codes, he's 180 days. Literally today on stream, he got DDoS attacked, which means 3 million hits per second. The video is going out. It was 3 million hits per second. And it was just, he showed it on screen. I go, yeah, I don't want that as a problem. I don't want that. I'm allergic to that as a problem, because when you think about it, I just want to make sure that everything's okay. If my problem in 180 days can actually be solved today, then I don't need this in 180 days when I'm getting hit by bots or people that are jealous or people that don't like me. They don't like what I have to say. They are, they're doing the tall poppy syndrome. Oh, you go up here. Let's knock you down. Let's knock you down. That was a big part of it. I actually wrote that in a community post. So this is what I would say to you in your brainstorming session. There's 3 things that you should do. Look at people who are further ahead, people that are seemingly objective to reality, and people who are positive, they're energetic, they are deciphering original ideas. And this is the most important thing that I'm about to say. They're a small c creator. They are actually not consuming content. Yes, they might be consuming some. I consume content because I need to know what's going on, but then I also need to be creating. Because in the world of AI, originality is going to be it. Authenticity, vulnerability. When I come on here and I just talk about my problems, that's original. I talk about my problems, but I also say, here's the solution. This is how I came to the solution. And this is what you got to look for. Someone who's further ahead, objective. Subjective means they are blurring reality with their own bias, their own nurture. Okay. I can do an entire video on objective reality. Obviously, Elon Musk talked about it with first principles. First principles. You just get to first principles. And he talked about this when he was building out Tesla. High energy, original, and they are actually producing value, producing content, they're creating. It could be through poetry, through art, through writing, through video, through websites, through anything. They're a creator. They're not just consuming. The last century was all about consuming. This century is all about safety. So you got to be out there and actually create. That's how they're going to sell us on all this stuff. So I don't know where you are, but share, like, subscribe, join the newsletter. You might be the first one or the only one. And we're going to be doing a lot of these brainstorming sessions because what I've noticed is that literally problems that are pretty big problems, which is I've been vibe coding for 38 straight days. One day missed and today missed. 38 straight days that I go, I might have just stopped. I might just stop and just code in the morning and create content. Code in the morning, create content. Community, features. People want features. They also want content. They want videos. They want to learn. They want to understand. They want, what is your value? Okay, your value is building out the content or the community through content going down here so they're actually paid. So now that problem, you're not hitting the Matt Miller problem in 180 days. People are trying to get into your website and now you're vibe coding. God bless them. God bless them. Give him all the flowers in the world. I noticed that his value is way different than my value. Neither value is better than the other. It's just different. Okay. Sales is different than marketing, but both are needed. Support is different than, design, but both are needed. So enjoy. Hope you enjoyed this. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next video.